Welcome back to Sports Scene for the final half hour today. It's my pleasure to have Gator Volleyball coach Ryan Theis here live in studio. So if you have a question for him about Gator Volleyball, please ask it. You can call us up on the Titan MRI Imaging phone line, 392-8255, International Diamond Center email, swrussell@wrut.com. Yesterday, first of all, welcome, Ryan. Gators versus Gator greats yesterday. New thing. How'd it go?
It was great. And to go back just one more second,
Sure.
I love the Kid Rock intro, Bow at the Bow. My boys know that song.
Oh, okay.
So that was an epic intro. That should be like my new song.
There you go.
Event yesterday was great. The alumni were amazing. They were in it for fun. They were in it to win it. They all came into town the day before that morning, laced them up, practiced, wanted to get touches so that they could make it a competitive event. They were great. Mary, her appearance, she surprised him in the locker room. We said she wasn't coming, so she got in there and they all got fired up. It was a really, really neat day on so many levels. The 200 young girls, waiting for the autograph line afterwards from Gators and Gator greats. So many neat things happened. It was a great day.
Sam says, I was able to attend. It was a great time. Please tell Coach Theis to continue to do this every year. Is that going to be the plan?
We would like to very much. The only, we need a certain number of pros that, are still playing that want to play, or recent graduates. If we only had 2 or 3, we might not do it on a given year. So if we can make it a tradition so that they plan for it, give them enough notice on the save the date, help them offset some of those costs with their travels and things like that, I certainly would like to make it work.
Must be kind of fun, players that had played here and played well and maybe haven't played all. You get pretty competitive once you get out there, huh?
Absolutely. My wife was on their sideline, and her former setter is giving inspirational lines in timeouts. And, the alumni didn't want to step on each other's toes. They're like, okay, do you want to play this one to me? But they wanted to compete and they wanted to win. So my wife said it was a lot of fun on that pro sideline. Watching those guys interact and want to win.
By the way, if you have a question for Coach, please, 392-8255. I want to ask about the Spikes Under the Lights, which takes place on the 27th. You play, obviously, a really good team in Nebraska. How did that whole thing happen?
Basically, a company wanted to capitalize on volleyball, right? And these events are becoming pretty common. There's one in Vegas this year. We were approached by a California company involving Disney that wanted to have us come out and do a thing. And so it's becoming a pretty competitive market to host these events at major arenas, major venues, and have volleyball teams come out. So this was just an email. And I read it the first time, and I think I just skipped down and kept reading other emails, and I kept it in my inbox, and I looked at it maybe a day or two later, and I was like, wow, are they serious about this? And sure enough, I looked into it. I just said, hey, just give me a call. And, they really want to put volleyball in the center stage, and we were all for it.
What was last year like for you being Florida's coach?
The first year is difficult. It was my 3rd head coaching job, so I was pretty prepared for it. And what I would say, and I've said this many times, it used to take, in my opinion, 3 years to shape a culture, to get it, everybody bought into what you're doing. And if there's a benefit to the transfer portal in this new era of college athletics that we're in, it's that you can shape that culture much faster. It used to say in 2008 when I go to Ohio, there's freshmen, sophomore that aren't even thinking about transferring. It's, I'm at Ohio, but maybe they bought into the old coach, but not the new coach. So then you end up bringing in some players, and all of a sudden it's half your team, half the last coach's team. In this case, we just basically, as we got through that very challenging first 10 months, in November, I said, listen, things are going to look different in December, and we're going to decide who wants it and who doesn't, and we'll move forward with that. And then when we went back into the locker room the Tuesday after season ended, Sunday and Monday we knew what was going on. Tuesday we met with the group again, and we said everybody in this room now is bought into what we're doing as a staff, the direction we're going, and everyone in this room is going to help us recruit players on the transfer portal and undergraduate, underage, And we're going to do this together with this culture that I want. And they have been amazing ever since. So where the first 10 months were challenging, I would tell you the next, let's see, what are we on? The 8 to 10 months after that have been the most fun of my career.
Wow, that says a lot because you've had a good career. Let me also ask this. I've asked every coach here. We can sit here and lament the portal, NIL, all of that, but for you, it's a fact. That's
Yep.
You have to deal with that, good, bad, wrong, or right. But you've seen the changes, Ryan. How do you look at those changes, and how do you roll with those?
Well, I think a lot of us enjoy the fact that our athletes make money. It wasn't, in a world where a football coach is making $8 million and the guys can't make a thing, that needed to change. It did. And I don't know that we're hitting it on the head, every month, and every change that comes is for the positive or the way it should be. But so I roll with it with, to get to play at Florida is an amazing experience and privilege. And from there, what can we do for you financially that's fair, right? And if it's fair for both parties, appropriate, I'm excited for them. I'm excited to give it to them. We give retention bonuses to our players for staying.
Wow.
Whether they're
That's interesting.
Whether they're receiving high levels of NIL or not, here's a retention bonus because we appreciate you being here and being loyal to be a Gator. So I approach it a little differently than some, but I enjoy giving them that. I enjoy that they can have a little bit of spending money, or be able to do some things that didn't exist back before this era. So absolutely, you can hate it, you can do all these things, but you can choose a path that's right for you as a coach. This is how we're going to choose to do things, and I think you can live with that. And I think if we talk as our team, we only talk about money one time a year, and then our general manager handles the dotting the I's and crossing the T's. But we're only going to have one conversation a year, and then it's not going to be about money. And this same thing with this event we're playing in. We're not making it about the money. The media's trying, and the people, and the $1 million on the line and all that. There's a much more appropriate plan in place with that stuff than just talking about one day for $1 million. It's not really what we're talking about as a team.
Again, if you have a question for Coach, that's why he's here. I can ask him, but if you're a fan or want to know about the team, he's here, 392-8255. You can also email srussell@wruf.com. Right on cue. Patrick, what's it going to take to be the premier team in the SEC again in overtaking Kentucky?
Yeah, Kentucky, Texas, and Texas A&M, they've been they're picked 1, 2, and 3. With us right behind A&M in fourth, nipping at their heels a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of time to pass those guys. I mean, those coaches got a little bit of a head start on me and our culture and what we're trying to do. They maybe were even a little bit better at the beginning of rev share NIL situations for their athletes to get a little bit of a head start. And so we absolutely have to work to pass them, but it's going to take some time. It's not going to be a one season or, hey, we added these 3 players, and so we're going to knock those guys off. But give us some time, and we think we can pass those guys.
When the SEC, when Mary was here, I broadcast volleyball games, and I knew nothing about the sport, and she was great in teaching me. And I remember Mary trying to really boost the other programs because they weren't that good then. I mean, they weren't when Mary first started here. Well, that's obviously turned around now, Ryan. What's caused that? What's caused the SEC to be better overall as a conference?
Well, I do think Mary had a lot to do with that.
No doubt.
I think ADs at those other schools weren't thrilled that Florida was kicking their butt every year, right, and sweeping weekends without dropping sets over and over again. And so Mary and the Gators had a huge front, and then conference realignment mattered, and people putting priority in the sport of volleyball. That's a huge deal. Throw Texas in there, right, along with Kentucky, who's done a really good job. And Craig at Kentucky, he started there I think it's over 20 years now, didn't make the NCAA tournament team and built it for a long time and did it the right way. And so, they've become a bit of a juggernaut, over the course of the last 5 and 6 years, going back to COVID when they won the national championship.
Nico, is this for call for Coach? Yes. Okay, good. All right. Let's get Sam here. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Steve. This is a question for Coach Theis.
Sure.
I was at the event yesterday. It was really nice. So I was really impressed with Logan King and Selena Laban. So I just wanted to see, do you see them as starters right off the bat, or is that something you're going to work in with the current rotation of starters you already have?
Yeah, we're competing on a weekly basis for some of that time. I think everybody in our gym probably recognizes that Logan's got to be on the floor.
Okay.
So, and she proved it again on Sunday. I think she had 12 kills and 14 points or something in 2 sets.
Wow.
So, yeah, she's got to be on the floor. And then Selena's ball control is really special. So from there, it's building the right kind of on court from there. We have 2 or 3 pins competing for 1 or 2 spots a lot of times, so with the Bree Denny injury, likely starting out the year in a 5-1, so that only leaves 3 pin hitter spots. And we know Logan's got to be one of them. And Selena's right there with a couple others battling for some of that other time.
Appreciate it, Coach. Have a good season, sir.
All right. Yep. Thanks. Thank you, Sam. I was going to ask you about roster-wise. Obviously, you're satisfied with what you have, and are spots still up for grabs?
Yeah, spots are still up for grabs. The middle, I think there's 3 out of our 4 middles that are still duking it out for time. I think on the pins, there's, like I said, we think Logan's going to be out there. And then there's, 2 more spots and 4 more people that want those pretty bad, if not, 6 more. We're still duking it out, and we're going to have to find the right combination because there's so many new pieces. I mean, we had 13 starters last year from different teams, including ours on our team right now. Right.
Wow.
So we've got to go, okay, do we need Selena's passing in combination with Jordan attacking, Anaya attacking? What do we need around those pieces to be successful? And I don't think we're there yet.
All of our guests coming to you courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971. Meldon Law won't back down. Can you stay one more segment, Coach?
You bet.
Okay, and again, if you have a question or comment for him, that's what he's here for. I can ask questions, but I want you, the fans, to talk to him as he's live here on Sports Scene, coming to you live from the Southeast Car Agency studio on WYUF. All right, another 6, 7, 8 minutes with Coach Theis here, the Gator Volleyball coach. If you have a question for him, 392-8255, or you can email the show, srussell@wyuf.com. Appreciate Ryan being here. You mentioned a little bit about your team and playing in Nebraska. What's it like making the rest of the schedule? How do you normally go about that going around the SEC schedule?
Well,
go ahead. You're good.
One of the things going on right now is, for example, we have 2 matches in an SEC Big Ten challenge. We have a match in an SEC ACC challenge. So we typically are trying to schedule 10 non-conference matches in any given year. Some of those now are becoming events that people will pay you to come to. Hey, will you join us at this? Next year there's talk of trying to do an event in the Bahamas they want us to come to.
Nice road trip.
Yeah, so you've got to pick and choose out of 10 how that's got to look for your team. What's the age of your team? How much do you want to travel? All those things come into play. Can you do a home and home? So we returned to Baylor this year, who came to us last year. So these challenges are eating up 3 of our 10 matches. And so then I got to find 7 more, and we'd like to play at home. And so we're fortunate one of those matches of the challenges at home. So then you're looking at what teams will come play us, win, guarantees, things like that are all in play. And you just basically build a world around 10. So they told us the challenges were in Madison, Wisconsin. You're going to play Tuesday and Wednesday. So how do I find something the weekend before that, right? So we looked at teams coming into the area because we wanted a home game because we didn't want to go from Dallas to a road game to Wisconsin in the span of 7 days, right?
That's tough.
So we just wanted to come home for one, and we found Stony Brook was at, I want to say they're playing at Central Florida or South Florida. And we said, would they be willing to stick around one more day and play us on Sunday?
Yeah.
So they said yes, right? And then Baylor we have to return to. And I said, hey, can we pick up another game when we're near there? I know the new North Texas coach. He's a great guy. said, hey, I'm going to be in the area. Can we play you after we play Baylor? So they said yes. So then, boom, you got Baylor, you got North Texas, you got Stony Brook. And then you start throwing out, who else wants to come play in Florida. You call some coaching friends from a long time, and you build a schedule from there. There's no doubt you need a certain percentage of really tough ones. I mean, we got Wisconsin, we got Minnesota, we got Miami.
Yeah, you got a good
Baylor.
schedule.
Yeah, we got some good games on there, and then we got some home games on there. So we should be ready by SEC time.
This is a very broad question, and I know it depends on the position and everything, but just generally speaking, Ryan, when you recruit an athlete, what are some of the things you're looking for?
Well, the first thing you notice is the physical ability, right? And then, what I've found is I tend to do best with, I would say, I use the term simple logic, right? Really realistic viewpoints on things, right? What's your family like? How are you handling practice? Are you the best kid on your team and act like it? Or are you the best kid on your team and a great teammate? Because most of the kids we're getting are best players on their team, right? So
Sure.
How are they handling that environment? How into things like social media and other stuff are they into versus are they into volleyball? So those things factor. So the first thing you got to do is you got to see talent, and then you got to find out who wants to be Gators, because I want people who want to be Gators.
I got about 2 more minutes here with you. Inside the locker room, obviously you're the coach, you're the CEO. How much, though, do you put on your team leaders to lead, to control, to fix things that need fixing? How do you rely on them?
We have a couple of players on our team who are just in absolute sync with the way me and my staff feel about culture and how our culture should be. And so they'll come talk to me. They'll handle something individually. Hey, I heard you said this. We use the line of, when you say blank, it makes me feel blank, right? And it's just that 6th grade, this is how you communicate with people. But that very simple step, I want our team doing, right? If they have a conflict or anything in the locker room, they can use that line. They can ask a teammate for help. And our leaders will come with me with, hey, I need an idea for this, or we're here. This is happening. Can we make sure this happens? So they're giving me feedback throughout on potential problems, conflicts, or just even things I can do better to make sure that they're in good headspace.
You mentioned the schedule. I'm going to quickly do this. So if you're a Gator Volleyball fan, I'm sure you know already. But against Nebraska, August 27th, that's going to be in Arlington. And then Stony Brook will be here on August 30th. And then a pretty good Minnesota team. So you get at it right away.
Yeah, and the day after that, Wisconsin. And they're rested and we're not. So I don't know. I think the Big Ten must have had that share of the Big Ten versus SEC scheduling part.
And my last minute, I'm going to ask you an obvious question. There's a grind you go through. There's workouts, all of that, but it's getting close. How excited are you for the season and to see your kids play?
It's a 10 out of 10, right? When you talk excitement level, this group's great, and I'm excited to get to watch them play in front of other people, and they're jazzed and ready to play in front of other people.
Good group.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, Ryan. Thank you, and we'll get you back. Good luck when the start of the season.